Time to get your pot heated up. We're gonna put this on a low setting because the first thing we drop in is butter and we don't want it to burn. Now over at my prepping area, I'm about to beat up some vegetables. But before I do, I will let you know that I have 2 pounds of crawfish for this recipe. 1 pound of this is from a frozen pack at my local grocery store, and the other pound is from last year's crawfish boil. And yes, it is still good. I vacuum sealed it and kept it frozen all this time. So I went ahead and added 1/2 tablespoon of seasoning to this, just to season up the other half of crawfish that wasn't seasoned. And I'm just gonna let this sit probably in the refrigerator till I need it. Okay, so back over here, I have 2 yellow onions, 1 green bell pepper, and 2 sticks of celery. Let's smack this up. Choo-ya! We will now return to your regularly scheduled programming. Let's go. So we got our vegetables off to the side here, and over at our hot pot, we are introducing a stick of butter. Party or two. Let me show you to your seat. Whew. Save room for dessert. As the butter is beginning to melt, you can go ahead and raise your fire to about a medium setting. Now that the butter is melted, we're going to drop in a 1/2 cup of flour. All-purpose flour. We get to stirring. So it'll bubble up like this. I find butter and flour tends to do that, especially early on. But we're just going to stir this around for about 5 minutes just to make sure everything has blended evenly. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and drop my vegetables in. You already know. Move these around, get them blended in. We are going to cook this down for quite a while. We want these vegetables to get very soft, and we want this roux that's blended in here to turn to about a peanut butter color. The roux is going to help cook the vegetables down really good, so that's going to be a good thing. But we got to keep it moving though, so that the flour doesn't burn to the bottom of the pot. So just keep on stirring. So I've been stirring this for about 25 minutes now, and as you can see, my vegetables have softened quite a bit, but they still need to cook down some more. And I'd also like to see this roux start to turn, start to get to more of a tan and even that peanut butter color we're looking for. So we just keep cooking. So we've been at this for another 10 minutes here, and as you can see, it's starting to have kind of that tan color. Lets us know it's browning. Also, too, it may start to stick a little bit to the bottom here because a lot of the moisture from the vegetables has evaporated. So you just got to be, real cautious about getting it up, making sure nothing sticks, and then we'll gradually get it to the color we're looking for. This is looking really good, very close, maybe another 10 minutes. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and drop in 1 tablespoon of minced garlic and blend that in. We have reached our peanut butter color, ladies and gentlemen. I've been cooking this for about an hour. So at this point, I'm going to gradually add in a 32-ounce container of chicken stock. A little bit at a time here, and just going to mix it around. It's going to kind of become a pasty mixture, but I don't want to do it all at once. I like to gradually add it in so it blends good. All right, once it's blended well, we can go ahead and add all of it in. Next, we'll add 2 10.5-ounce cans of cream of mushroom soup. And 1. And 2. Oh, man. Got a little carried away. Ah, well, just blend that in. All right, from here, we're going to add 2 quarts of half and half. Blend that in. All right, next we will add a teaspoon of black pepper, a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, Worcestershire, whatever, and 1 tablespoon of hot sauce. Shout out Dustin Poirier, one of my favorite all-time MMA fighters, also a Louisiana native. Had to throw down some of his hot sauce right here. All right, I'll blend that around. We're going to raise our heat to a kind of medium-high heat, because we're going to want to get this thing to a slight boil. But since we're about to add some frozen corn, it's going to take a minute. All right, so now I'm adding 2 16-ounce packages of frozen sweet-style corn. I get the frozen kind because I find it's fresh, man. It just has a fresher taste. Next, I add 1 12-ounce pack of frozen corn, just regular frozen corn. And we're going to let it get to a boil from here. So while that's coming to a slight boil, I got some green onions over here that I'm going to go ahead and chop up. Just like that. Just going to add these in. All right, so now that this thing is boiling, we're going to cover it up and lower to a simmering heat. Going to let this cook for 30 minutes. You also want to make sure you come back every 5 minutes and give this a stir so that nothing's sticking to the bottom. 30 minutes is up. Ooh, be careful now, that's hot. Give this a good stir. Ooh, this looks good. Beautiful. All right, so we're gonna drop in our crawfish. And as I mentioned earlier, I put only a half tablespoon of seasoning in this because I had some crawfish in here that was already seasoned. I would normally do a whole tablespoon if it's 2 frozen packs that aren't previously seasoned. So we'll dump this in, and later, when we're done, maybe we'll taste it and see where it's at. But this is a good starting point from here. So that way we don't over season. Also shake some of that in this bowl and try to get the rest of it out. Whew, there we go. All right, we're gonna blend that in. All right, so I'm gonna cover this up and just keep this on a low setting for another 20 minutes. And also continue to come back every 5 minutes and give it a stir. Make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom. And our time is up. We didn't get all up in there this time. All right, so I went ahead and tasted this, and I think mine could use a little bit more seasoning, but that's always a risky thing to do early on whenever you're using crawfish that have already been previously seasoned. But I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more of my seasoning here. You know, probably like half a tablespoon worth. I think that's enough. Now just go ahead and blend that around. Make sure it all marries up in there beautifully. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Corn and crawfish bisque. It's time to bowl up. Man, oh man. I love some good corn and crawfish bisque. I can't really bring it up to the camera because it's gonna spill. But you can see it's a really creamy consistency. You know, it's not like super soup-like, and it's wild because as you saw when I was cooking it down, it looked like it was gonna be real thin. But when that roux in there cooks down, it thickens it, and it's amazing. It's super hot right now too. My mouth is watering. I'm so hungry, and it's so hot. I'm gonna scorch my palate, but you know, sometimes we just gotta play through the pain. Let's go. That is so good. It's such a great flavor. It's got these great kicks of spice that are kind of different because, you know, I got crawfish in there that was cooked in crab boil seasoning, you know, from my last crawfish boil last year. And, you know, the paella seasoning obviously has a good kick to it. But, you know, all the other flavors in there are really standing out as well, you know. Garlic, onion, celery, bell pepper, you know, those are cooked down so much that you're getting their natural flavor profiles. I got some little baguettes here that I've toasted up, threw them in there. Gotta have a little bit of carb, you know what I'm saying? This is so good. And that corn is so fresh. I'm telling you, the frozen corn's the way to go. You know, not to knock anybody out there who produces corn in a can, but to me, the frozen corn just has a very fresh bite to it, like you boil the fresh corn on the cob. This is so good. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I have knocked out corn and crawfish bisque. It's actually one I've done before. My OG fans in the house probably know this, but it was from a long time ago. I did it in a vertical format on a very old device, so the quality's not as good. I also changed up some things here. I did it all in one pot to make it easier for you. I think it came out just as good. It's really, really good. If you give it a try, please let me know. You know, with the cool weather we got going on, it's one that will definitely warm your heart. So all in all, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Paya!
TV don't mean that much to